It is the first week of classes at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where Evan Carabas is taking the school year, impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, in stride.
I took 2 online classes from my apartment. Nothing too intense.
But 60 days before the November election, Carabas finds intensity in his volunteer work with the Badger GOP, a college Republican group helping to re-elect President Donald Trump and elect other candidates on the ballot in Wisconsin.
We're getting out there as much as we possibly can, knocking doors, doing phone calls and all of that.
Opinion polling conducted in the weeks after the political party conventions shows little movement as former Vice President Joe Biden continues to lead President Trump in this key battleground state.
We're never expecting them to really be favorable to him, especially since, a lot of conservative voters are afraid to even pick up the phone and honestly say who they're going to vote for.
It's going to be very close. It's really going to be about how many voters can you reach.
Rihanna Mukherjee is on the other side of the political aisle from Carabas, but as the leader of the University of Wisconsin College Democrats, is also engaged in a high-intensity get-out-the-vote campaign done virtually and by phone amid the pandemic.
People are tuned in and they'll start to pay attention once their phones are starting to buzz. Hey, are you registered to vote? Hey, did you request your ballot? Let's do it now.
I think I'm up to almost 10,000 phone calls on my app. So there's that. And then I just started doing doors not too long ago. I've only done, I think, probably less than 1,000, but I anticipate it'll be a couple thousand by the time it's all said and done.
While both Carabas and Mukherjee admit current events in Wisconsin, such as the U.S. government response to the coronavirus pandemic and unrest in the city of Kenosha, could change the outcome of opinion polling as the election draws near, it isn't changing the way they engage potential voters.
I don't think you can look at a poll and be like, okay, that's a done deal. It's really about the behind the scenes and what's happening in the country.
Yeah, I pay attention to them, but I don't let them influence my thought process too much.
I think a potential problem with the polling is the estimation of turnout.
University of Michigan professor Michael Traugott says this year is unprecedented because of the pandemic, and turnout is key, which polling should reflect.
It's probably appropriate in 2020 for pollsters to produce multiple estimates from their samples for a high turnout election and a low turnout election.
Traugott also says the race for the White House most likely won't end in 60 days, as poll workers count all the ballots, including those mailed in.
It's very likely that the outcome of the 2020 presidential election won't be known for days and possibly a week or 10 days after what we think of as Election Day.
An election day that will be a first for both Mukherjee and Carabas. While they support different candidates and different policy positions, it is their first opportunity to cast a ballot in a general presidential election. Kane Fairbaugh, VOA News, Madison, Wisconsin.